I am thrilled to be here on the one hand because, as we are seeing, this really does mark everyone coming together in so many different forms, governmental, NGOs, all working together to save elephants. But on the other hand, I'm very sad. And I really hoped by this point that we wouldn't need to still be crushing ivory, and to have 2 tons that have been seized since our last crush here. On the one hand, is impressive that people are committed, that our state is really, really stepping forward and leading in this regard. But on the other hand, it's very sad because every tusk that we're crushing is an elephant.
Elephants really are just like us. I think that's what draws a lot of us in for so many reasons, is that elephants have the same lifespan we do. They grieve the way we do. They live in family units like we do, and even more so than we do. And they're just very, very special animals that, you know, really have the emotional intelligence not far from ours.
I think we need to send a message and raise awareness about what's happening to elephants. The fact that there's still a demand for ivory is something that we have to deal with, even though we've been very successful in passing laws in this country on the federal level and on certain state levels to ban ivory sales. We still have to deal with the fact that people don't understand what's at stake.
We decided we wanted to make a public statement saying that this ivory has no value. You know, the only value is in those animal lives and protecting the environment. So we want to destroy it, send a message to anybody out there that still might be selling ivory illicitly that, you know, we won't tolerate it, and we're out there and they won't be operating long.
What we're trying to do is we're really putting it out to the world that, you know, ivory is priceless when it's on the elephant, and it's really worthless when it's not. So we want to make sure that everyone knows that these trinkets, these things, are worthless. And we're going to publicly state that these are off the market for good, and that they're going to go up that conveyor belt, and that they are going to get crushed.
As we prepare to add 2 tons to the more than 100 metric tons of ivory burned or crushed across the globe since 2011, I can't help thinking that today is a great day for elephants and a really bad day for ivory traffickers.
Approximately 35,000 elephants were being killed every year, and that was such an incredible number. How do you make that more real for people? And we realized, just doing simple mathematics, that works out to 96 a day. That's 15. That's 1 every 15 minutes. We realized that we needed to think about this in a completely different way, because we had to engage the public and figure out a way to bring the public into this conversation. And we realized that we needed to come up with a very clear strategy, and the strategy is really threefold. It's stop the killing, stop the trafficking, and stop the demand.
Destroying ivory is simply saying no commercial value for ivory. Ivory belongs to elephants alive in the wilderness in Africa for all of us as a global community to enjoy them. So when it's hacked off elephants and you get it, no commercial value will destroy it, and you will be in jail.
Laws need to be tightened up better. People need to be educated. More states need to pass legislation similar to New York's legislation, and more countries need to take stricter domestic measures. They can do it internally. It's not only an international prohibition on ivory, but individual countries need to do it domestically. It's very important.
See that corner, that cutout?
Yeah.
So we've had that stuff tested by the University of Washington, Sam Wasser, and Kevin Uno from Columbia. But in that tusk, there was newspaper from 1990. So that's telling us that that is more than likely a replica of some, you know, Asian type of antique.
I welcome the plethora of opinions about ivory crushes, because what it's doing, candidly, is talking about elephants. It's talking about wildlife crime. It's raising this issue. And that's what these crushes are supposed to do. The last one of those pillars is stop the demand. So it's stop the killing, stop the trafficking, stop the demand. We need to educate people that we are killing these animals so that we can buy trinkets. It's insane. And the bottom line is, what we're saying to the American public and literally to the globe, stop. Do not buy ivory. The only place that ivory should be is on elephants.
What are we going to say to them when they just see a picture in a book and they say, why can't I see an elephant in person?
how are we going to justify that we let the criminals win, that we let the people who are killing them in the most brutal fashion somehow get away with it to the point where there are no elephants left? That cannot happen.
When you're in a place like this and you see the emotions and you see the passion that people have for these creatures, I believe we can save them.